Hello, welcome.
How you jump in like
Welcome
that?
to the LoveHour podcast. I'm your host, MrsKevOnStage, and I had this much coffee this morning, and it has made me on 10. So we're just gonna go with it.
Hello.
If this is your first time joining us, my name is Melissa, or otherwise known as MrsKevOnStage. I am your host, and I'm joined by my husband and co-host,
The Kev on stage.
and today we do not have a guest. We haven't had a guest in a while.
We had a guest last week.
No, we haven't not had a guest.
Oh.
Maybe I said it wrong, but I meant just the two of us.
No, we haven't not had a guest.
We haven't not had a guest in a while.
You did coffee or cocaine? This woman would be out of here if she did a snort of cocaine.
I think it's number one, we didn't.
She's like, what's happening?
I think we ate the leftovers yesterday. By the way, I made a delicious meal for Father's Day.
You did. You made fried chicken, cabbage,
fried cabbage.
rice.
Rice was regular. Ain't nobody excited
Do
about
good
the
rice.
It was
No,
good rice.
you need good rice.
No,
And
yeah.
then a pound cake
I made
and deviled eggs.
I did make deviled eggs. Smoked deviled eggs were pretty good. But I made a Moscato soaked strawberry pound cake situation. I don't know what to call it. Anyway, I got the inspiration from Darius Cook. Shout out to you, Darius. But he doesn't have the recipe on his website, so shout out to you, Darius Cooks. So,
Whisper to you,
yes.
Darius.
So I had to scour the YouTube of culinary school to find a recipe I thought would be good, and I found this lady. Her name is Cooking with Carolyn or Cooking with Caroline. I think it's Carolyn, actually. And I was like, her recipe looks good. She has a lot of views and people seem to like it. So I went with that recipe and it was amazing.
It was.
It was so good. And to the point where I made it on Sunday. Today's only Tuesday, so I can't give a really great example. But if you know pound cake, you know that the day after sometimes it'd be dry and dense and like a brick. Yeah. And we ate it yesterday. It was still moist. It was so very good.
It was good, man. Nobody wants dry pound cake.
No. And
I was thinking of saying coochie and I didn't, and you got it without me even
I know,
saying it.
but I didn't get it. I was like, hold on. And then I looked at Joshua. Yeah.
You want that coochie moist too.
All the, and according to Goody Howard.
Goody Howard.
Shout out to
I want
Goody.
to thank you for the weekend.
If you are on it, listen, this episode's about to be everywhere. We do have something planned, but right now, just let me get this coffee out my system. We had
This is on drugs. This is literally, first for y'all who can't see, she literally had
I know, but it's a lot.
Coffee.
Well,
I'm
isn't
looking
it?
at the thing and it's still full.
I know, but when it's bigger, don't they put more caffeine in it?
I don't know.
Is that
but
true?
I'm glad you never did drugs. You are a lightweight.
No,
You're
but
like,
what
who needs drugs? Coffee, man. Put it in my face. Heroin.
Wait, because don't distract me. What I was going to say is that because we ate leftovers yesterday for lunch, I didn't have a true dinner, and so I was hungry already.
No, we ordered California Pizza Kitchen last night.
I only had a salad
and a pizza, and then you just didn't eat the pizza.
But that's the point, is that I went to bed kind of hungry.
Melissa's always hungry, if you guys don't
That's
know.
not true. I'm not always hungry.
You don't be eating nothing.
No, but I'm not always hungry. My appetite is just small. I would very much like to not be a part of this narrative. Anyway, the point is that it was amazing, and I was like super excited about it because it was really good and I was excited. But today we do not have any guests, and the reason why is because it is I'm going to try to make this a thing, like the episode that comes out the week of our wedding anniversary, to allow us the opportunity to reflect back on the lessons we've learned.
Yeah.
So this episode will come out on Thursday, the 25th, and our anniversary is on the 26th, so it'll be the very next day, and we will be celebrating 16 years of marriage. High five to that.
That's a long time. That's 20 years. No, 20 years together.
20 years together,
Yeah.
16 years married, which is a long time considering we're 30.
I'm 37.
Okay.
You are not yet.
I'm
37.
36.
Don't be trying to jump on my age.
No, I just forget how old I am.
You're
so
10
I'm
weeks behind me.
May, June, July. Okay, that's probably right.
Let's just drink her coffee like this.
Coffee just hits different when you're on an empty stomach.
And you're
That's not
tiny.
true. And I am tiny.
It's total aside. I be bragging on Melissa, right? All the time. Somebody said, you just reminded me of this, and I don't know why I'm talking about it. Maybe I'll regret it. We'll decide after. Somebody was like, would you brag on your wife if she wasn't a size 2?
Oh, I know. I did see that.
Like, guys, please, just leave me alone. I don't know. She's been this size for her whole life. That's all I've known. I'm sure I would be proud of her, whatever she was. Why? What am I supposed to say to that? Yes, if my wife would do honor, I would love her.
Yes.
No, if my wife would not do honor, of course I would be proud of my wife. She was a size 20.
Yes, that is the correct
but
answer.
why are you thinking about this? You saw a video of me saying my wife is beautiful. You'd be like, but what if she was big? Then she would still be beautiful.
Just let me live.
Just let me, I don't want to get canceled.
I was listening to NPR
That's that Coke.
Code
is
Switch,
drunk.
NPR Code Switch this morning,
Yeah.
and the lady was talking about in March.
I dislocated.
Sorry. She wrote an article and predicted all of the riots and stuff for right now. She said that we had all the necessary ingredients in spades, was like literally what she said, to allow for what's happening right now. And she predicted it back in March.
She's the prophet? She's YPJ?
No, she's like a social scientist
There was
researcher.
another guy, I saw an article, a guy posted, I don't know if it was a scientist, but he said the same thing. Like, through historical data, we were on par for
this
a
moment.
revolution. Yeah.
I don't know why that made me excited, but as I was listening to it, I was like, oh man. That's all I have
Okay,
right now.
let's go to your note.
Okay, so today is our anniversary episode where we're going to discuss and talk about the very last
How
one.
many notes do you have?
A lot. We're going to talk about specifically the last year,
Yes.
but even more specifically this year, like the year of 2020, and the lessons that this year has taught us.
Yes.
So before we actually get started on the lessons that we've learned, we want to tell you about SkillShare, a place where you can learn tons of lessons. And we have definitely shared some of the things that we've learned on there. And I've just decided, since they offer so many different workshops, everything from graphic design, illustration, photography, productivity, freelance, entrepreneurship, interior design, like literally everything. I've decided to take a photography course on there. I'll tell you guys about it during the next time that they are sponsoring the podcast, because I keep saying I want to do outfits of the day, but every time I do them, things just be looking off.
The same person. They be looking at it and it's like, it's not perfect. This is dumb. I shouldn't do this. Bye. I not make content no more. Nobody loves me. I am small.
Yes, these are facts. But I feel like if
then when y'all really do it, it'd be amazing stuff.
Yeah, but I feel like if I can sit down and have someone teach me via Skillshare, then it'll give me the confidence to do it correctly the next time. And I'm just one of those people that like to give me all the knowledge, give me all the information, let me oversaturate myself in all the information, then I'll feel confident in doing it. So I'm going to take the photography one. Join me, and then let's do a photography challenge. We should do a photography challenge, Joshua.
Let's do it.
Okay.
That's the class I'm taking too on Skillshare.
And then,
The photography one?
Mm-hmm.
Are you really?
Yeah.
Oh.
then I can repurpose that in the idea that I told you about.
Oh, yeah, that's a great
All
idea.
right, man.
Yeah, you did.
It's settled.
Okay, let's do it. Join us. Explore your creativity and get 2 months free of premium membership at Skillshare.com/LoveHour.
LoveHour.
That's 2 whole months of unlimited access to thousands of classes for free. Get started and join today by heading to Skillshare.com/LoveHour.
LoveHour.
That's 2 free months of unlimited access to thousands of classes at Skillshare.com/LoveHour. Okay. The very first lesson that we've learned over the last 16 years, and very specifically in this last year of our marriage, at least for me, some of these are both of ours, some of these are like very specifically to me, and some of them are very specifically to Kevin. And I think this one might be both of us. Emotional support is real. And what I mean by that is, more than any other year, I feel like my emotions, even more lately, but specifically this year, my emotions have been all over the place. Highs, lows, middle of the road, super motivated, completely sad, just all over the place with everything that's happened. And then when you look at and think about just what this year has represented, and we're only in June. Like, do you guys remember the good times of January, from January 1st to January 25th?
Good times.
Like, the possibilities for 2020 between January 1st and January 25th, they were just limitless.
Ever since Isaiah texted me about Kobe, it's been all down.
And that was on the 26th. Yeah, seriously.
Literally, that was even before the racism office.
That's what I'm literally. We were looking at 2020 with wide-eyed, bushy-tailed, rose-colored glasses.
2020 is like, you MFers don't even know.
Listen. I mean, it was just.
I feel January 2020. Haven't heard that month in years. Dang.
Oh my goodness. And so the need for me to have someone that, I got emotional, but the need to have someone that is as, I want to talk to you, as stable. Oh, don't cry, because you're going to make me cry.
I'm not crying. Am I?
Yes.
This is the worship music earlier.
No. To be as, like literally a rock in stability that you represent for me when I'm just like, I don't want to do it. And then you're just like doing this to me, like, but we have to, like, keep going. It's okay.
Right.
Okay, we can stop right now. You can rest. But then, like, you have to get up. To be that for me, and like in the midst of the total and complete and utter turmoil that has been 2020. Thank you.
You're welcome.
And I want to say that I've never needed that sense of like rock and foundation and stability, not stableness. I've never needed that as much as I have in this last year. So thank you for being that.
You know, it's funny that our personality differences are needed for different parts. Like, my compress and move on isn't always a good quality, but when we lost the house and both the conferences, you were just like, okay, I will shrivel up and I cannot do nothing. And we really couldn't like do nothing, but you didn't have the capacity. So I was like, my ability to not feel and be a robot allowed us to like move forward in that moment. And then there's always so many instances where your personality parts strengthen me where I'm weak, you know? So that's why I feel like that's why life is easier and better for me when you're married, because this person, helps you, like, I'll tell you a little bit about this later, the week I had in my birthday and my real dad and stuff. It's too tender to talk about right now, but I needed you to be like, you can't do it like that, Kev. You gotta. And I was like, I don't want to. Everybody's against me. I will defeat all the enemies. And you were like, you cannot do. You cannot do. And that's the give and take of marriage, right? And sometimes it's part of your personalities that we don't like. That you need in that time. And I think, we'll get to this later in the things, but that's the beauty of marriage, and then not having to do these things alone. Right? Because sometimes you just want somebody else to be there with you to say, man, this sucks. And then them just to echo, like, this does suck. Like, you are not tripping. And that's one of the things I've been learning, to just be like, bro, this sucks. No more adding, no more this and that. Just agree with me that this sucks. So
it allows you to feel your feelings. And the problem is that where I might want to take 18 days to like feel my feelings and like just be sad, it may, you're very quick to move on, but somewhere along the way, you've not just taken one. You say, okay, Melissa needs a little bit more time. She wants 15, but I'm gonna give her 5. Right. And then we got to get up and keep going. Right. And that's helped me to not take, 14 days to get over it.
Right.
And even yesterday, we finally hit, over 1,000 registrants for the LoveHour conference. Thank you to everyone who has registered. Thank you so much. I'm so excited. And it was really like, I don't know, a full this is successful. It's not what you wanted, but things are going well enough given the circumstances that you were given. Be happy and sit in that moment instead of dwelling on what could have been, because the fact of the matter is it will never be.
And so the funny thing is, you were that for me too. Like for the tour, I was like, I ain't going back on tour until I can be sold out, and like I used to be. And you said, Kev, but a sell out might be 50% or 75%. And while that's true, what it really helped me to realize, it's kind of crazy that it helped me to realize it before you did, is that we can't look at this year and the future as if going back to normal of what it will be. It's how do we adjust to what it is going to be? Not what we used to think it was, not what we think it might be, but what it actually is.
What it actually is.
And that helped me to realize, man, I might not even go on tour at all this year. If I do, it'll be greatly different. I might not make the money. I might not even be able to sell. All these things might be different. And that's not always bad.
No.
You know what I mean? Because in some ways, we learn good things that we will need as well. So
yeah.
So yes, there.
Okay. Ready for number 2?
Yes.
Okay. Number 2, sometimes the pause is necessary to reconnect.
This one is so true for me. I was just thinking this morning, I meant to tweet it. I have not used my suitcase in
Remember suitcases? The airport?
In what is this? Almost July, going on almost 4 months.
Yeah.
I can't, even before we toured crazy, I would have at least a Saturday that when I was baby Kev on stage, 3 weekends out the month, I'd go at least one day and come back Sunday morning. And even outside of that, we would go somewhere. Yeah. We would go on vacation. We put our suitcases in the garage when we moved to this house, and they have not moved.
At all.
I mean, I've been going in there and taking stuff out, extra flosser, you know what I'm saying? At first I remember the first 2 weeks when we were off, me and Tahir was like, oh, let's just do these things because we'll probably be back on April 1st. No. And then it was because we were forced to slow down, you are forced to look at things that you would not have had to look at before. Right. Our current, the pace we were currently going at was more than likely too fast. Yeah. Right. This one girl tweeted, I don't even know her. I don't even know how it came on my timeline, but she was like, I think we don't understand that the pace we were all moving at was not sustainable.
It wasn't.
Right. For our marriage, there were some underlying things that were not being addressed because of the pace, right? Because of the routine, because of parenthood, right? Eventually they were going to come out. Sure. You know what I'm saying? Boys are going to be done in our lives soon. Isaiah's starting high school. Next thing you know, he's going to be starting college, right? So that was going to remove some of the pace. Right. But the problem is this is like an untreated symptom. Absolutely. Right? So it's kind of like when you have a sickness, the best thing you can do is catch it early. Later on, you would have built some resentment because you were gotten used to something for years that you'd only really been gotten used to for either months or maybe a year or two, right? So having to sit down and literally not be able to go anywhere and having to really look at yourself in the mirror and look at your marriage in the mirror and look at how you've acted and how and the habits you've accumulated and how you haven't addressed it and you haven't had to address them because of the pace. Right. You know what I'm saying? Of our lives, and really in so many ways, a lot of our life changed over the year. Everyone. But I mean us specifically, our business model, even our relationships with friends, stuff changed, so I hesitate to say I'm grateful for the virus because I don't mean it to come out like that. However, what I mean is without this, complete standstill, absolutely, there's things we would not have addressed in our marriage that I think are going to be important for the next phase of our life. Right. I feel like things are going to get better eventually and we'll move into more success. And it's kind of like, I don't know if you remember early in our marriage, early, when we were dumb, playmakers dumb, and we had flown this girl out to see our play.
Okay.
Remember this?
No.
Okay. Name was, I won't say her name. I don't even know if that was her name. She was big in the play world from Detroit.
Okay.
And,
Oh, I do remember. I do.
Okay. Flew her out. She loved our play. So she was like, I'm taking y'all on tour. I immediately bought Melissa a laptop that was filled with viruses. $500.
I was so mad.
Thing never worked. As soon as you open it, and bought it from a friend. And I gave it to her like, obviously, I'm going to be on the road now.
Yes.
We're going to need to be able to talk to you. Here's your own laptop. And I thought we were going to be on tour.
And we were not.
And we did not move anywhere. The laptop never worked. I was just out of $500. And then I realized later that I didn't even have the integrity, not the integrity. I didn't have the necessary skills to even sustain going on tour at that time in our marriage. So it was a blessing that it didn't work out. And I think I'm praying that God has allowed our marriage to repair some of the things that were broken or missing, so that as the next phase happens, we can do it together,
right?
As opposed to me doing things the way I've been doing them my whole life, which is I'll do it myself, right? That wasn't sustainable, but there was no reason to change, right? Or I wouldn't listen to the reasons for change. And now that it's become painfully obvious, even therapy, like I wouldn't have even gone to that as much if it weren't for this. And even the doggone pandemic removed one of the, I go into the office is like, it's far. Now because of Zoom, I really can literally just go in the garage and do it. And low key, therapy has been helping our marriage leaps and bounds.
Yes.
And it's just not even like marriage therapy. It's personal.
Because you show up better.
You show up better. And you realize the things in therapy, the way you treat everyone is also reflected in your marriage.
Absolutely.
Right? So again, I just wouldn't have done that without that. So the slowdown was necessary, but we got it now, Lord. We learn our mistakes.
But I want to encourage people that if you are having a hard time, because I know even sometimes I get really anxious about, okay, I'm ready to go back to life. Like, you will never have this opportunity to reconnect with your family members like this, probably ever again.
Yeah.
Like, there will be no other time where you really can you're just at home looking at each other. So like really trying to make sure that we're taking advantage of this time, because once it's gone and life is back to normal and you start getting into those old habits, you'll never have this opportunity again. No. So just making sure that we're taking the opportunity to kind of cherish these moments for what they are. They're rare and you may not get them again. The next one, honesty, while uncomfortable, is required for growth. I think this is probably one of the biggest lessons that we've had, which is, if we're going to sit down and we're going to talk and we're going to have true communication about what's going on in our marriage, what's going on with me personally, what's going on with you personally, you have to be honest. And sometimes that feels like a challenge. Sometimes you want to be defensive. Sometimes you want to attack, and you have to sit there, take it, because that's the only way that you're going to grow. Yes.
So for a person like me who's competitive, I want to win in everything. And I want to win. I'm tired of losing. I want to win. Taking that ideology into marriage is not healthy.
Yes.
Right? And
unless your competition is the you yesterday.
Right. And go ahead and say what you're saying, because I lost it. Oh, honesty while comfortable is hard for growth. There's nothing harder than to hear a truth about yourself that you know is true, and your partner is not saying it from an angry place, but is really telling you in a way that you can be better, and having to sit with that, like, this is actually a weak spot for me.
Right.
And I have to own that, and I have to get better, and it's not necessarily a quick fix.
Right.
So that's why people always say marriage is hard work. Like, a lot of that is inner work.
Most of it is inner work. I think the reason, not only is like the reconciling of two lives and figure out like, okay, this is me, this is you, how do we become we? What does that look like? That is hard. But part of that is making sure that I am, again, showing up as the best version of myself. I'm showing up in the way that I want to show up, in the way that you need me to show up. Yeah. Making sure that happens. That's internal. That's all self-work. That's inner work. And that's why even going to couples therapy obviously is very important, but even more important than that is going to your own personal therapy to get that personal development and figure out the root causes and issues of why you're acting and doing the things that you're doing, so you can have a more productive conversation with your spouse.
And it's also like hard to realize you have been trash in this way.
Yes.
Like to really, I remember the other day there was this thing on Twitter. It was like, ask your spouse or girlfriend or how have you been misogynist, right? And then listen to them. And Melissa, for her to tell me like, no, this way and that way, and just be like, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like nobody wants to be bad or wrong. Nobody wants to here's the ways that you hurt me. Here's the ways where you have been careless or condescending or whatever that is. But if you don't do that, like if you don't own that part of your process, then you're really being unfair to yourself and you're being unfair to your partner. Absolutely. And therefore to your children. One of the things I learned in therapy, we have this thing called shadow work. I felt like we talked about it.
We have.
Before.
I love this. Say it.
And she was saying how if you don't do the shadow work, and shadow work is basically, you know, the sun shines on you, but it always casts a shadow, right? So everybody has some parts of them that they need to work on. And if you don't do that, you're just going to pass it off into your children.
Right.
So one thing I carry is I don't need help.
Yes.
I don't want help. I can do it on my own. Right. I've never said this to my sons. Right. Never said I don't need your help overtly. I do say I got it. So when I'm struggling with the trash, Joe will be like, hey, you need help? I'll be like, I got it. Struggling like crazy. Then I realized he started to do that. And it's because he's seen me.
Absolutely.
So he'll struggle. This little strong boy.
Yes, he did.
Literally picked up a love seat and put it up and from the living room where it was, you know, sitting, pushed it all the way and then up the steps.
It was just one step, but still.
Right? And it's a heavy thing. It's not light.
Yes, he did.
And I'm like, how did you do this? And he was like, oh, I just did this, you know, blah, blah, blah. And I realized I watch him struggle to do stuff now because I've said so many times in my life, I don't need help.
Yep.
And now he internalized, I don't need help. So now I'm working to undo that, because even small things like that, they grow into like, I don't need help in the trash or this or in life. And now it's hard to ask for help.
Yeah.
And that's one of the things I'm trying to break in my life. And if I don't, now he's only 11, right? And I'm trying to undo that. But if he went his whole 18, 19, 20, I have now passed on a negative trait of myself to him. Yep. Unknowingly, right? So I'm glad I can change it now. And I am adjusted. And I can actually say, Joe, it's okay to help. Yes, I do need your help. Yes. And because he's so young, maybe he forgets all the bad parts of me and remembers the good stuff. But I can remind myself that I can change that in him, right? But that first takes me acknowledging it and then realizing it and then changing my behavior so that I don't pass off the negative parts of me to him. And that's even more of a reason to do the self-work. It's more of a benefit, I should say. But I really had to do it for myself. And then you know, because you end up passing off the trauma of your life. And he doesn't even end up having the root reason for why I had that. No. He just does it because he saw me do it. I actually have a root reason that we'll talk about in another episode that I figured out in therapy, which was crazy. Let me tell you what therapy teaches you, Josh. Your doggone childhood. Oh my God. The root
of everything.
Boy, when I tell you, it always comes back to that in some way or another. Things you did not realize were like pivotal moments that just felt like moments in passing were like shaping moments. And that's not even like in my instance, even when it didn't come out of malice or intentional pain, it's shaping. Now, if you did actually have that or some emotional trauma stuff, then it's just going to be magnified. Right. But you don't realize how one conversation, it's kind of like that Talladega Nights, like Ricky Bobby's dad said, you ain't first, you're last. Yeah, High one day. And the dude really lived his life like that. And it's comedic, but that's what happens a lot of times.
Absolutely.
Your parents, people you look up to, the way they treat you, it shows up in your life so many ways, and you end up recreating the relationships you had or you wanted to have in so many different ways. And the worst part is you don't even know it. Yep. You don't even acknowledge it. And I remember in my last session, I realized like, this is kind of how people who are in abusive relationships, they move on to another partner and then it ends up in the same thing because you somehow create the same dynamics in these relationships that you had in a person before.
And that's not victim blaming, by the way.
No,
Yeah.
not victim blaming at all. Please don't cancel me. Please cancel me. Please.
No,
don't
I just want to be clear that the point there is not that it's your fault.
Right. You just, because of your hurt that's not repaired, you end up unknowingly putting yourself in the same position and bringing that out of people or whatever. And I'm realizing in every way. And therapists, they think they're so clever. They never just say, this is why. They're like, and why do you think that is why? Do you think it could be because of this? And I'd be like, but you knew that. Don't be asking questions to get me to say it. They'll be like, but then if I just tell you the answer, you cannot come and pay me weekly.
One thing that you can spend your money on that would actually help you is a grocery service. I want to tell you about Thrive. They can help you get high quality organic and non-GMO groceries delivered to your door for a lot less than you're paying right now and help out families in need. Listen, for every ad sponsor that we have on the podcast, and I'm gonna take a little bit of time on this one, so y'all can get me in the comments if you want to. We have a conversation with one of their representatives, and we talk about the brand. And I got on a phone call with Thrive, and the representative was talking about how they're doing a lot of things again in the community, helping those. And I was like, okay, so listen, that is really cute. I really love that you guys are doing all the things in the community. But as a Black woman, what's important to me is Black Lives Matter. Yay. So in all of your giving, are you giving to Black Lives Matter? And the woman was with the shenanigans, y'all. She said, yes, ma'am, Miss Pam. I'm Miss Pam in this instance. We are giving to the Black Lives Matter movement. And I was like, bet. Sign me up. So I want to tell you guys specifically a little bit about what they're doing, and then of course I'll tell you about what we got from the delivery service. Co-founders Nick, Sasha, and Gunnar are starting their giving by donating $50,000 to the Black Lives Matter movement. They also have within internally, they have a employee type donation where they will match the monetary donations 2-to-1. And currently, as of early June, they were at about $62,000. So shout out to you, Thrive, for being with the shenanigans. And I feel like, especially when we are all looking for ways to be active and get active, and sometimes we don't always have the monetary resources to buy your groceries and to donate. I get that. That's just the reality of life. And so if you can support a brand that you know is also supporting movements and causes that are near and dear to your heart, 2 birds, 1 stone, or $1. So what did we do? We supported Thrive. Listen, y'all, I got some scallops. I got some lobster tails. They have all types of groceries on here, but I was like, listen, my grocery store doesn't have good seafood. Y'all seem to have good seafood. Send it to my house. So it is in my freezer right now. I will be using it. I was going to make it for Father's Day, but I forgot to take the fish out, so don't judge me. But I will be using it. It was delivered to my house. They had it nicely sealed. It was cold. It was fresh. Good to go. Thank you, Thrive, for making it easy for me as a woman and mama on the go. Try Thrive Market and become a member risk-free. Go to thrivemarket.com/LoveHour. Join today and you'll get $20 in shopping credit toward your first order. That's Thrive, THRIVE, market.com/LoveHour to start your free risk-free trial membership and get $20 towards your first order. thrivemarket.com/LoveHour.
Love Hour.
And while we're all talking about what were we talking about? Making your life easier is what we were talking about. While we're talking about things that you could do to make your life easier, we want to shout out Blue Chew.
Make your penis hard easier.
Get to a harder penis easier.
Yeah, blow some backs out.
Listen to me carefully, y'all. If you attended my conversation with Goody Howard, we all know that pleasure is your birthright. We deserve all the things to include pleasure. And one of the things to get there is through an erection. And if you're not getting the erection that you deserve in these quarantine times, child, I'm going to need you to try some Blue Chew. All right. Right now, we've got a special deal for our listeners. Y'all know what it is. BlueChew.com and get your first shipment free when you use promo code LOVE. All you're going to do is pay $5 for shipping. That's blue, like the color, BLUE, chew.com. Promo code LOVE. Try it for free. Just pay $5 for shipping. Y'all know we love Blue Chew.
And we love hard penises.
And you deserve a hard penis.
The strongest penis. Your penis will be a bodybuilder. Be like, where the coochie at? Where the coochie at? I'm up in here.
And if you need it, it's your responsibility to ask for it. Get Blue Chew. Which brings me to my next point. If you need something, it's your responsibility to ask. And if they ask for it, don't make them feel like they're always asking for something. I actually would say this is something that we struggled with as I've gone through my own Just Say It campaign, and I was like trying to say all the things and like, let me get this out so we can deal with it and talk about it and work with it. I realized you can like word vomit and it becomes too much. And so I would feel like, and this is why I can't say anything. Like I have to like help him and like protect him and make sure he's okay. So let me not say all the things. And then Kevin would be like, no, tell me, because I want to fix it. But then I would see like deflation. And so it was like this, I don't know, this weird kind of dance of like, I don't know, I want to say something but I can't say something, I want you to say something but also please don't say anything. It was just weird kind of dance. And so trying to find the correct balance of ensuring the things that are important to me, and not just me but important to you as well, that we both have the space to say, these are the areas in which I need you to show up for me different. These are the areas in which I need you to show up for me better. These are the areas in which you are not showing up for me at all, and I need you to. Having those type of like honest conversations, again, they facilitate growth. They help to prevent resentment from settling in, but it also, if I need you to do things different, it's my responsibility to say something. Otherwise, I have this resentment for all of these unspoken needs that I've never said to you. Yeah,
and also what you do is you hold people accountable for stuff you've never told them.
Right.
And you feel like they should be better. And also what happened in our instance, you don't say something about this or this or this. So when you finally say something, it's so much to take in, and the person receiving it doesn't even know where to start.
Right.
As opposed to what I feel like you've been doing better at is, hey, actually, for me, I do so many things wrong. I would like you to point them out as they go along, so I can remember, okay, this is what she said for that. And it doesn't feel like you've been holding in things for months or years, and then you hit me with all that at once, as opposed to, okay, hey, when you do this, it makes me feel like that. And oh, okay, that's not my intention, or that was my intention, didn't know it made you feel that way, blah, blah, blah. And then I can make adjustments on the fly, you know? So it's kind of like coaching in a sport. It's like waiting to the whole end of the game to say, oh, you did this wrong, that wrong, that wrong. Like you throw an interception, come over, let's talk about what you saw. Here's what you did. Here's what you did, blah, blah, blah. And then, you know, now you can make adjustments on the fly as opposed to at the end of the game.
Right.
You know, and where it's more. And then it feels like, because for me, I'm words of affirmation boy. And when you have to tell me, you know, X amount of things that I've done wrong, it's negative words of affirmation. Right. So telling me a thing here or two makes it more.
I don't think negative words of affirmation is a thing, but I understand.
Yeah. Words of deformation. Formation, song by Beyonce. But telling me as you go along makes it more manageable, right? Because a lot of times in marriage, if the thing in life, if the thing seems too big to tackle, you just avoid it altogether, right? You're like, you know, I messed up so many different things. I can't even begin to do anything right. So forget the whole thing. Kind of like that video I made today. The lady smacked herself in the face with that band. It was like, you know what, working out's stupid. Yeah, it is. Right? And that's what it feels like in marriage, because you don't want to do the hard work. So I definitely can say that you have worked diligently to do that. And what I have to do, right, then is not make you feel a way about saying it. Yeah. Right? So I have to let you know that this is a safe space with which to share your stuff. Because before I used to huff and puff, and then it's like in your mind, I could see you being like, and this is why I don't say nothing. Because every time I say something, you go off the deep end and anybody saying all that. I'm just saying this one thing, you feel like, you know, the whole sky's falling. So again, that's why I say it has to be, you know, your own self-work that you're also working on. And I remember telling you one night a while ago, like, I have to work on being a soft landing spot for your feelings. Otherwise, then I've basically created the behavior in you that I don't want. Right. Which is something else I learned in therapy. A lot of times you do something and you create relationships with people that you don't want, but you set them up that way. Sure, that's good. You know what I'm saying? By the way you react and the way you insert yourself into stuff, and then people will respond based off that, and now you're in the same scenario. So
that's good.
Yeah, I'm having a good episode. But the thing is, you kind of got to be like conscious at all times.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like you can't really float through marriage. And if you're not having any issues in your marriage, it's probably more because somebody's not being honest.
Yeah.
Or both people are not being honest, as opposed to your marriage is just that perfect. Because that's not realistic.
And I think that was probably one, even associated with this, one of the things that I've learned is that I have to be responsible for my own happiness.
Yeah.
And so if I need you to do things differently, I can't wish and then complain and never have actually said something.
Yes.
That's not enough. I actually...
And I'm going to interrupt you here. The person who doesn't know or hear just living life.
Right.
Which infuriates you. Because you should know I'm not happy,
Right.
but you don't say it. They just over here skipping,
and
doing double dutch. And you're like, you over here having a grand old time, and you done piss me off, and they don't know. And I be like playing FIFA, like, you good? Okay, go. You know what I mean? Like, which is infuriating.
Right.
But you haven't
it helps,
actually said anything.
Right. And it helps to, your silence helps to reinforce whatever negative narrative you're replaying in your mind.
Ruminating.
Yeah. And so you create, and then you have all of this evidence, seemingly evidence that supports your theory.
Yes.
But it's really your silence that's causing all of this. So I had to own.
Oh, that is so true. It even hit me on another level.
What?
In your mind, right? In your mind, you are the preacher and the choir.
Yes.
So your mind doesn't go and be like, bro, you tripping.
Right.
Your mind be like, yes.
No one said objection.
No, it's your mind. Your mind is like, yes, he is tripping, girl. Like in my own mind, we all know you be tripping. They don't go against me. They be like, yeah, Kev, she do be tripping. What you finna do about it? Nothing. All right, we with that too, right? So that's what happens when you actually talk to the person. Sometimes just hearing that it wasn't my intention or I didn't know that you were taking this way, I'll make an adjustment. Then your mind is like, well, shoot, now well, dang. Like now your mind has a reason to think differently.
Right.
But if it goes unchallenged, your mind will always defend and protect you.
Absolutely.
You know what I mean? So that's another reason why therapy is good, because that's an unbiased person, right? And they're not even the person you may be talking about, right? Because even to my wife, whom I love, it's sometimes hard to be completely honest about how I feel because I don't want to hurt her.
Right.
But in therapy, I can talk about her how I want.
What you be saying?
I'll be saying amazing things. You're so great. You're so great. But what happens is the therapist can ask questions that make you realize how you've been approaching a situation incorrectly. And they have a way, at least mine does, of making you, it seems silly. Like something in your mind that felt so real, when it's challenged a little bit, you're like, oh, actually, I was tripping. And then your mind be like, you were, but we weren't going to tell you because we're on your side for everything. So, but if you don't speak that, no one can challenge you, and then the longer you do it, the more reinforced it is, and it becomes. And
that's how you build resentment. Now you had years of evidence. It goes back to one of my favorite episodes where we talked about "This Is Us." We are them. What is that show? This is us. We are them.
We are the us.
You had it right. And the black mom in you was like, that ain't right. Let me mess it up. We Are Them. Can you imagine? That show would not have made it past 3 episodes. It was called, hey, y'all watch We Are Them?
But we are though. This is us, where we were talking about the dynamics between Beth and Randall and how she had those years of resentment, and he was like, "That's not at all what happened."
Revisionist
history is one of my favorite lines. But again, those are the dynamics, and so we have to take ownership and responsibility of saying something. I had to take ownership and responsibility of saying something, and that's for, again, all relationships.
Yeah.
Anything else you wanted to add?
No.
All right. Last one. Marriage.
Last one?
I mean, next one.
I was like, that's not it.
No, sorry. Marriage is hard, which we don't even have to go into this a heck of a whole lot.
Penises are hard too with Blue Chew.
Blue Chew.
Yeah.
Marriage is hard.
So are penises.
And I want to be clear, though, because sometimes when couples are here, and even I'm sure there will be comments in this and be like,
somebody said We Are Them was on UPN. This is We Are Them. There's no Beth and Randall. There's Meth and Handle. Listen, we couldn't really afford the budget that NBC had, so you don't say it's these people ain't in Pittsburgh.
Oh my gosh! I don't know.
They're in Scranton.
Scranton. I know that there will be people in the comments that always will see. This is why I gotta stay single. This is why it ain't even worth it. But I want to be clear.
Can't
that,
get a hard
like,
penis single.
Hello?
Well, Goody Howard, you
can do a lot of
can.
things with single.
That thing looked like a Snickers.
It did. No, it did. Oh, you're talking about the booty.
No, that booty looked like cake.
But the penis didn't look like a Snickers.
Well, she has them on the website.
Oh, I didn't go.
It was hungry. Why wait?
Oh,
You can stick that penis to the wall and you can get hit from the back, and it's just a dildo.
It was a very versatile.
Like, which way you want it?
situation.
Like, girl, I'm
If
a suction cup. You can put me
If
on the
you are
ceiling.
in the
You can pin up there.
Patreon listening to this and you haven't watched this, I'm not quite sure what you're doing with your life.
Vimeo. We had to put it on Vimeo. It was so crazy. Josh had to edit it. He said, "Oh my God, what y'all was doing on Zoo? That thing was on Zoo. YouTube turned it off mid-live.
They
said, what you talking on here, Kev? It's a
Shut
chocolate
that
butt.
off.
You got a chocolate butt?
YouTube said no.
It's a whole chocolate gooch." I learned some stuff, though. I ain't going to hold you.
Yeah, she was fantastic.
The
but
Rock
anyway,
is in the building. If you've watched the episode,
You get that.
you know why The Rock... Diamonds are forever. Put that suction cup on that wall.
Oh my gosh.
Eat that coochie till it fall. Hallelujah.
We are everywhere and nowhere in this episode.
Y'all got to be
We
on the
did
Patreon,
say good
man.
things.
It's a whole nother family on the Patreon.
It really is.
You're missing out on the inside jokes. I just don't know what else to tell you. It's a whole different thing.
Yeah, that was hilarious. Okay. But what was I finna say? Marriage is hard work. And I don't say that as a way of like to steer people off, because it's really a beautiful thing. Like, it's really, really beautiful. But what in life is easy? Like, there's really nothing
Gaining weight.
in life. Well, maybe that, unless you're me.
Oh, that's crazy.
Yeah, it ain't that easy for me. But anyways, the point is that it's really a beautiful thing, and I don't want to deter people from that. But that's not to say that it does not come without its own challenges and, series of growth that you need to be the best version of yourself for yourself and then for your spouse.
Yes.
Because the same relationship characteristics that you're working on in your marriage are also going to impact your relationships with your friends, with your mom, with your siblings, at work. Those skills are transferable. And so it's not just something like, I'm just working on my marriage and that's it. These are skills that are transferable. And on a resume, you want transferable skills, okay? Did you have something you want to say?
Patreon is funny today.
What'd they
Somebody
say?
said Josh probably had to smoke a cigarette after editing that episode.
Actually, if you watch the episode, you shouldn't smoke cigarettes because it's harmful to your body.
Dry
and it
up
will
that cooch.
dry
I've been drinking
you
all type of water.
out.
You can tell.
I know. Meanwhile, I had coffee today.
Man, you got to drink your water.
You need to be drinking that episode told you how to keep your body and get it right, okay? And while we're talking about body and keeping it right, I want to tell you about ThirdLove.
Yeah.
I have on a ThirdLove bra right here, right now, because they are fabulous. They do all the things that you need a good bra to do. They do not hurt. They do not irritate. They come in. Listen, y'all. We have been socialized to believe that nude is a color. It is not.
It's something you send to your husband.
Nude is relative to your skin tone, okay? We all think of nude and there's an image that came to your mind, but what I'm here to tell you is that ThirdLove has the range of nudes, which was the number one thing where I was like, okay, I'm here for y'all, okay? I have completely overhauled my bras to be ThirdLove. I absolutely love them. I just got a testimonial from one of y'all like 3 days ago, and anytime you send me a testimonial, know that I'm sending them over to the brand. Thank you guys for supporting them, for supporting us, because they all work hand in hand, okay? ThirdLove knows there's a perfect bra for everyone, so right now they're offering my listeners 15% off your first order. Go to thirdlove.com/lovehour right now to find your perfect fitting bra. And I know you're wondering, how do you find your perfect fitting bra, Melissa? Because I do not know the things. They have a 60-second fit finder quiz. They'll ask you some questions, you'll answer them, and then voila, you'll be able to find your perfect fitting bra. And with that, you'll get 15% off your first purchase. That's thirdlove.com/lovehour for 15% off today. One more time, thirdlove.com/lovehour. Find your perfect fitting bra. Get 15% off your first purchase and let them know Miss Kev on stage sent ya.
Yeah.
How does it go?
Oh my God. Joshua.
How does it go?
I don't know what you just did, Melissa. What was that? What was that? I gotta watch another replay.
Hold on. How do you do it?
I don't know what you were trying to do. Let me watch the replay and see what you attempted.
Oh my God. How does the yaw thing go?
Yaw is a sound you can do to many dances. I don't know what it is.
But there's no dance move that goes to it?
No,
How do you yaw, Joshua?
Oh, stop, Melissa. Don't ask that. Don't ask how do you yaw. Cringe.
I don't know how to ask.
Do the yaw.
How do you?
She don't know.
You are a black mom. You are somebody's mom. You gonna get on boys. Come in here and do the yah. They're gonna be like, what are you talking about? Do the yah. I know you did it on TalkTick. Show your uncle. Come on and FaceTime your uncle. Do this. Oh, baby. Don't.
You guys are making fun of me, but I think there is a dance to yah.
You just. The list of yahs you could be doing. You could die. Yeah. Like they just be saying that.
Oh, I didn't know that.
You can do whoa, yah. You could do anything. We're here, Liz. This is us. This is our. Remember this?
The bankhead.
Bankhead bounce. You could throw it. You can pull it back in. Stay right there. Okay. But don't venture into the 21st century with the children. Don't venture into
the
new.
We're not gonna finish all these.
No, we should just do the rest on Patreon because we got a guest next week if we're not gonna get through it.
Okay, so the next one.
How many have we even got through?
Marriage is hard. We still have 10, so that means we've gone through 6.
Yeah.
Like those lists we used to say we're gonna do it.
We never get it.
Yes.
We never gonna finish it. We gotta even do a part 2 or do the rest on Patreon.
Okay, so let's just finish this out until we can stop. Okay. Don't ascribe a conclusion without giving your spouse a chance to answer. And what this means is we've all been guilty of this. I've been guilty of this. Kevin's been guilty of this. I think this is something that we both can work on. And that is finishing the book, writing it out, seeing the writing on the wall, and you've never even asked your spouse to begin with.
Man.
You've never even had the you just, okay, if I go and ask him, he gonna say that, and we're going to, then I'm gonna say that, you know what, it ain't even, I don't even feel like I don't have all that type of energy with me right now, so let's just know.
I'm super guilty of this. And what happens is, basically what you're not allowing your spouse to grow.
You're not allowing your spouse to grow.
Right? You're basing it off of previous interactions.
Yes.
Right? And some of your behavior, the spouse's behavior might have been changed or whatever, and you don't give them the opportunity to change, right? And there's been so many instances in our marriage that I've asked you something that I've already decided what your answer is going to be, especially the last 3 to 5 years. And I just asked you to confirm what I already think you're going to say. And then when you answer differently, I am so shocked that I have to be like, oh no, so you didn't hear me. What I was asking was this.
Yeah.
And you're like, yeah, no, that's cool. I'm like, but before you wouldn't say that. And remember one time recently, you were like, yeah, that's how I felt before, but I don't feel like that anymore. And I was like, but this is not what I told myself.
Right.
And I would have carried that forward for God knows how long, you know, had I not given you the chance to answer, right? And I really had to eat my words a couple of times because you have been doing your own work, right? And you don't always say, oh, hey, Kevin, guess what? I have kind of grown in this area, right? Because it kind of comes up in the moment, in pieces, in conversation or whatever. But we're kind of always holding our spouse to the last version of them that we remember, and it's unfair. And you actually will be surprised. Now, of course, if you ask them and they do it, and that's one thing. But in our instances, there's been enough for me to where I'm like, let me just ask her before I even form my conclusion. Because sometimes I have formed a conclusion so hard when you answer a different way, I can't even process it. Right. Because I was so prepared for one answer. Sure. So now I'm like, let me just ask her before I form a conclusion. That way I can actually deal with it. Because then it'd be like, oh, she lying. Yeah. It'd be so different than what I thought. I don't even trust that it's really how you feel. And that's also unfair. You know what I mean?
That was good. Next one, I'm gonna run through them a little faster.
You trying to hurry up so we can finish it? We don't have enough time either way.
Okay. Parenting is hard. This goes to it. Don't describe and listen to your partner and don't describe. So right here. Parenting is hard. I think, first of all, parenting is hard, period. From the moment you have a plus sign on a pregnancy stick, like from that moment forward, parenting is hard. But specifically as your kids get older, and even more specifically in this day and age, raising Black children and having these conversations that you have to have continually. And they're even more, I don't know, important right now that you have. They're of more paramount that you have these conversations right now, given the climate of America. Child, throw all of it away. Throw the kids away. Throw parenting away. The manual that didn't include all of these things that we needed them to. And like, throw it all
Literally,
away.
you cannot even talk to your parents about this part because our parents didn't have as much of in-your-face conversations about racism with us because it wasn't like that for us. You know what I mean? Like,
well, I think some parents were, but I think
I meant me and you specifically.
Yeah. Okay, got you.
Parents,
yeah, they didn't.
All Black people.
Yeah.
You know, because we also lived on military bases, which is a different world, right? I mean, there's racism in the military, but it's not as much.
You're definitely more sheltered.
More sheltered is about because I had some bad interaction with military police too. Don't trip. Police is police.
Right.
But you know, a lot of the racism in schools didn't happen on military bases because all these kids don't have no friends either. You know what I'm saying? So I said all that to say I couldn't even turn to we couldn't turn to our parents for this part because they don't have no thing. And then the pandemic, nobody has lived through that. The last one was 1918 through 20. So there's no one alive that we could talk to that's not decrepit that could help us.
Decrepit. That's what he
like Crypt Keeper. Like,
when I had the 20s, Harry, you did
why
this.
are all your old people living through the zombie apocalypse?
Every voice is that ugly girls, Gollum, decrepit old people. It's all
the MIB people.
Wanga said.
Yeah.
Let's stop. I have to doo-doo, and I need to take a break. I've had that much coffee, and I just need some time.
Okay, go.
So let's just do the rest on Patreon or another
We
day.
have to close out the episode.
Let's close it because I've been holding it for the whole time, and I just really got to do.
All right, so thank you guys so much for joining us for today's episode, 16 lessons in 16 years, and we did not get through all 16 lessons. There was a lot of vulnerability in this episode, and if I'm being honest, I know that's one of the reasons you guys. I'm going to excuse you because I might make this long.
I'm Regina King. Yeah, you can finish.
Okay.
Jesus Christ on the cross.
Coffee, man. You had 2 sips.
I know, but it activated something in me. I'll be back in 20 minutes.
Okay. While Kevin and I kind of made a decision about how much we would share, and that last one went a little bit deeper than I probably wanted to, but part of the reason why is because I've seen that, listen, social media is mean and people are mean, and I've had like a bit of my own, I don't know, vulnerability hangover, as Brene Brown says. So I pray that everything that we've said, you heard our hearts, and that it was helpful to any of you who may be, going through some of the things we've gone through. 16 years of marriage is a lot of lessons to be learned, a lot of lessons that we have learned. And I just pray that we were able to help someone. With that said, I want to remind you about the LoveHour conference that's coming July 10th and 11th. As I said, we just crossed over 1,000 registrants. I actually think we're probably closer to 1,200. So thank you to everyone who made the switch and decided when I rocked, you rolled. So thank you so much. I want to thank our Patreon audience for rocking and rolling with us so hard, so tough. Like, seriously, I really appreciate you guys. If there is someone that you guys want to see on LoveHour After Dark, child, send them my way. After Goody, I feel like I got to up the LoveHour After Dark. So send me some people that you guys are interested in. And I think that's it. Until the next episode. Bye.